Today is September 26th. The Yankees have 6 games left. They're mathematically eliminated, and changes are a-coming, says both the Aarons. We're going to talk to one of them on this her program. Let's talk Yanks.
Talking Yanks with old Jomboy, Jomboy and Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, theme, and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talking Yanks with old Jomboy, Jomboy and Jake. Talking Yanks with old Jomboy, Jomboy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks. It's a midweek episode. It's our penultimate Bantering with Boone episode. We've got sharp stats, and we've got some quotes from the Aarons saying changes are coming, some articles from the Jays, the other Jays, not Jimmy and Jake, but Joel and John, kind of ripping the Yankees apart. So we're going to talk all about that. Jake, how you doing?
Jays and journalists. Jimmy,
Yeah.
BBD, everyone joining us. Yeah, it's kind of funny, you know, these two articles that have come out now. Well, Heyman was a couple days ago. Sherman shook the trees a little bit today. I know we've had some fun people reach out being like, hey, did you boys see this article yet? Couple good words in there. Charlatans, looked that up this morning. Like that, adding that to the repertoire. That's when you visit Charlotte. But yeah, I don't know. Now that you have to wait till it was officially done for the writers to get their piece off, and there's blood in the water. And I think it's almost the same effect. Our biggest episodes in Talkin' Yanks history are when the Yankees do something bad, when they get swept by the Red Sox. Like the bottoming out this year were some of our biggest episodes. And I think for these writers, Heyman and Sherman, these are probably going to be their most popular articles of the year because it's real, and I think it's hard to argue against a lot of the points they make, man, because it's a lot of the points we've been talking about for a while.
A lot of points everyone's been making for a little bit, and now it's like, hey, you know, you guys can't stand on some of the stuff that's happened where this has not blown up in your face, because now all the things people have been worried about are blowing up in your face because the other things didn't go right. And you just you just thought all these rookies were going to save you. That was like the one thing I said at the start. I mean, whatever. It was very easy. It was. I thought they would be good. I did not think they were going to finish in last place, but because I thought, you know, and maybe if Judge and Rizzo stay healthy, they overcome the terrible rest of the roster. But that's not really a good playoff solution to have two guys that provide everything. But we said, you know, one of Hicks, IKF, Donaldson, they couldn't be part of the plan. And then I said you can't have 3 rookies be part of the plan. And it's like, okay, so you're banking on 3 guys who you know won't work out and 3 rookies who you have no idea. And guess what? 0 for 6.
Yeah, I think obviously I think the pace of the season changes. Rizzo gets hurt, and it's almost worse than him getting hurt and being out because they played him through it and kept him in the middle of the lineup as he was one of, if not the least productive player in baseball for 2 months. And yeah, losing Aaron Judge and now seeing Judge back again, it brings back those memories of like, oh yeah, that's a pretty good 1-2 punch. Like remember when, you know, DJ's been hot for this second half and Gleyber's gone, that yeah, if you were able to piece 1 or 2 pieces around it, whether that's a trade deadline piece or if they had the stones to call up Dominguez, not that I think they would have. I think they only called up Dominguez because the season was on fire, and then he gets hurt anyways. But yeah, the lineup needs a lot of juice. The pitching staff fell apart, but that's kind of has come with just end of season. Does anything matter anyways type vibes.
But also the Monty and the Montas and all that like goes hand in hand there as well.
Gallo,
they traded
Donaldson, IKF.
They traded
Montas.
Yeah, they traded Montgomery away because they said he wasn't a playoff pitcher, and that's what Joel Sherman says in his article. What is now the top 15 pitcher in MLB, and you have nothing to show for it. All the moves, and that's why Hal said we're not trading anymore. All your trades in the last 3 years have been garbage. We're not trading anymore.
Yeah,
comes from the top. So they got a lot of changes coming. Judge says there's changes, or there's things that he's going to have a heavy hand in trying to figure out. I don't know what those are going to be.
Yeah.
I'm just so scared we're not going to see changes.
Yeah, I understand the fear. Auditing. Hopefully that leads to something, and the fact that they're talking about them is a good sign. You know, I mean, Judge, Boone, the fact that they're bringing in probably McKinsey, that the other baseball organizations have brought in to change their program.
It's just
I think change is coming. The scary part is it enough change for us to really sink our teeth into next season to start? Like, obviously spring training always brings hope with it in a certain way, and we'll talk ourselves into Rizzo. Like, that's when we'll be able to talk ourselves into, like, hey, as long as he's healthy, he should be a good version of a baseball player and a lefty first baseman.
He's having a great year before he got hurt.
Give me Judge. Hopefully, you'd like to think Volpe can be better. Is it Gleyber's last year? What else is there? But it's the fact that, and Sherman and Heyman allude to it in their articles, you know, normally you see the path pretty easily in free agency, right? It's or even, you know, sneaking up on the deadlines, like that Castillo-Montas deadline. It was like, well, Castillo will be the first pitcher to go, and you'll have to pay for him, and then Montas will be on deck, and then there's other trickle-downs after that. The free agency pool, there's not a ton of moves. You know, Cody Bellinger's the one impact lefty. There's some risk there. Like, the guy doesn't have a pristine health background or performance background. And he's like the big lefty outfielder. So there's other teams that want that. So are you going to be in a bidding war for Cody Bellinger? And what does that actually do for the team? And I don't know. As they audit this up. Man, I guess here's the glass half full. This should be one of the more fascinating off seasons.
Yeah, because they really have to make changes. Like, you know, we were told they needed to get more lefty and athleticism, and they traded for Donaldson and IKF. So we were told we need a lefty left fielder. They didn't get a lefty left fielder. They didn't get a left fielder. It was at the last offseason. Then, at the deadline, we were told they were searching for a lefty left fielder at the deadline. They didn't make a move at the deadline. So hopefully the audit people are like, why don't you stick to your word? And also, they keep not trading these young prospects because, well, no one's matching what we think they're worth. Well, guess what? They all came up and they all stunk. So
we need to reevaluate what they're worth.
And you treat them like they're not great.
You treat them like they're bad. They haven't performed, and they probably match what you're being offered. So, like, for them to change house, everyone needs to be on the table besides Judge and Cole. Rodon, you're tied money to. But honestly, everyone else needs to be available to be moved if a better situation comes. And all stubbornness and all pride needs to be just scraped away. But I don't think they have it in them to do that.
Yeah, that's I would agree with you there, and the articles do talk on it. That'll be the interesting part to me, because you can change up the way you evaluate players, and you can, you know, we're going to draft these kind of guys instead of these kind of guys, and we're going to focus on these drill in the minor league. Sure, and all that's really important, but man, that pride button, I don't know if you can change that. And when you have all the years of experience that are making decision for the Yankees, usually those years of experience do turn into pride, and it's hard to change off of that. So that'll be the scary part, and it'll be circling around Giancarlo all off season. we always and you may be the best interpreter in the world at this, but when we get the end of the season Cashman press conference, like so fascinated to hear the wording around Giancarlos and DJs and things like that, because Cashman usually does leave a little bit of meat on the bone there. And I'll just to close off my side of it, the left fielder thing has maybe been my biggest gripe with Cashman. Like, Rodon, you brought in like a high-powered lefty starting pitcher, and hopefully this year gets looked back and like, wow, that stunk, and he was hurt, and he was trying to catch up. Sure, we all wanted to bring in Rodon. That when the Stanton trade happened, we were all excited, and we knew there was some risk on the end of it. What you can go through a lot of these moves and be like, yeah, I don't, DJ kind of 4-star hand, back-to-back top 4 MVPs.
Yeah.
The left fielder in Cashman's quotes are the most unacceptable things I've ever heard. When he just kept hiring home like, yeah, we kind of misread the market and we didn't get one. That's the gig.
Yeah.
That is the entirety of the job. And it's one of the 9 positions in the lineup you have to fill out. That's not an excusable answer. Like, I'd rather have you swing and miss. I'd rather have you bring in Conforto for a year and be like, well, we had to. We needed a lefty outfielder.
They tried.
Instead, you did nothing.
They tried with Gallo, and they brought in Benny, and then they didn't retain Benintendi, and he got a high price tag from Chicago. But there's other options. But hey,
they didn't replace him. It was all.
And that's something that Joel Sherman talks about in his article, which we've been discussing for a long time, is that all of their decisions are one-off decisions where they vote and one department wins out and they get their way for that player or that move, and there's no one taking care of the big picture and how does this all come together in a cohesiveness. We've been discussing that since 2021 when we were told about how their voting system worked back in 2019. And we were like, that's wrong. So anyone that's been listening to the Talkin' Yanks has known, we've been saying that. And it's nice to see Joel Sherman be like, all their decisions are made in a silo of is this the best way to make this decision without anything else surrounding it? And they've defended moves like that for a while. I remember Hal defending all the righties after the 2021 season, saying those were the best players available at the time. So we just went out and got the best players available at the time. It's all right, it's a classic football thing. You draft for talent or you draft for need. And they've been drafting for talent, their version of talent, instead of need for a long time.
Basketball could probably be your better example there. It's like if the Yankees put together a team of centers.
Yeah.
Oh, all these centers were available. Okay.
Yeah.
You can't bring the ball up the court.
It was nice to see Joel write that, because that's the biggest. No one's making there's no umbrella.
And Joel should be dancing on graves, man. I remember the first time Joel came out with that article, and we're like, whoa, Uncle Joel, let it eat. He's like, this team's not athletic. There's no lefties. And we were kind of like, damn, Joel, this team's, I don't know, it still looks like they're going to win 90 games. And Stanton and Judge are pretty cool. And then it was like, shit, go get them, Joel.
That's the thing with this season that Yankees can't hide behind. This isn't like 2021 where we thought they'd win the division or at least be very, very competitive, and they ended up the last wild card and if we just won a couple more games. No, you missed the playoffs by a lot. We're not doing that.
And I guess I think for all of us, for Talkin' Yanks fans, I think for BBD, James, and myself, I think maybe the biggest punch in the face organizationally was when they called the 21 wild card a good season.
Yeah,
it's hey,
sucks,
guys, you couldn't be further off, man.
One and done.
Bonus wild card spot, 1 game at Fenway, success. You're out of your mind.
Squid and Odor in the starting lineup.
That's not being kept in check.
Yeah.
That's not being kept in check.
Yeah.
Because I get a little bit of the analytics, make the postseason. You're not sure what's going to happen. There's risk in short series.
Yeah, it's a little true.
Not that. Not that.
That team wasn't winning if they went further.
Not that.
John Heyman wrote an article, and he had a bunch of bullet points for the bad things about the Yankees. And the second bullet point is they are unathletic and unexciting. The Yankees are 20th in stolen bases, tied for 25th in triples, 13 and dead last in doubles, they still somehow draw fans, as they always do. Those fans are as loyal as they are angry. They've been boring for a long time. Since 2019.
Yeah.
Outside of first half of 22, it has been kind of all not fun watches since 2020.
Yeah.
Like Judge.
I like that.
Just
I like that
Judge.
Joel in his article said, you know, they they lead the league in charlatans.
Yeah. That was
that got an audible reaction out of me when I read that.
That
line.
was the mic drop.
For those that don't know what a charlatan is, kind of just like a.
I told him at the start.
Someone that visits Charlotte, like quack, like a psychic.
Someone that specializes in something, says they specialize in something, but they do not.
But they do not.
Boom. Roasted. Speaking of roasted, don't roast your balls.
Huh.
Get yourself some Tommy John underwear. It's fall, which means you should be picking apples, not wedgies. Get new underwear that'll take care of your whole fruit basket, and that's Tommy John. I've made the change. I made 2 Tommy John orders. First ordered a sampler pack of Tommy John, basically. I clicked around because I had my one go-tos, but I was like, wow, they have a bunch of different models. Let me find out which one I like the most. Second order, went in on the 360 Sport. You know, I'm an athletic guy, like 360 protection, like the way they fit on my body. Maybe you'd like a different pair, so I recommend you doing the same. And you'll get 20% off your first order right now at TommyJohn.com/Yanks. Save 20% at TommyJohn.com/Yanks. Click the link in the description. 20 million pairs sold. I'm 10 of those. Click the link in the description. Go get yourself some Tommy John.
You're 10 of those. Let's listen to the Queen of Stats, KT Tunstall.
Suddenly,
the Queen of Stats, and this week I'm just going to look at some things that we can watch for in the final week of this season. Now that the Yankees have been eliminated from the postseason, there's still some stuff worth watching for and tracking. So the first and most obvious one is to continue their record for consecutive winning seasons. So the last time that they had a losing season was in 1992, and since then, every other team has had at least 3 separate losing seasons in that span. So, and this would be their 31st consecutive winning season, which is the second longest in MLB history, trailing only a Yankee streak, 39-year streak from 1926 to 64. So they're 79 and 77 right now after this Diamondbacks win, and so they just obviously need to go 3-3 or better to be above 500 for the season. And kind of sticking with that, another one is that if the Red Sox win all 6 of their games, finish with a winning record, and the Yankees finish with a winning record, then the AL East would become the first division ever to have every team finish above 500. That's since divisional play began in 1969. So another thing to look for. And sticking with the division stuff, so the Yankees right now are 20 and 29 in the AL East, which is a .408 win percentage. So the worst winning percentage in the division that they've ever had is .423. So in order to beat that, so to say, they need to go 3-0. If they go against the Blue Jays, if they go 2-1, then they'll tie that. If they go 1-2 or get swept, then they would, set their unfortunate record for their worst divisional record ever. And then just a few more fun things to look for to see if happens in this final week, kind of relating to players. So if Everson Pereira hits his first career home run, hits a home run, he would be the 4th Yankee, age 24 or younger, to hit their first career home run this season. Volpe, Jason Dominguez, and Austin Wells have already done it, and that's only been done 4 other times in Yankees history. So that would be cool. Let's get IKF to play all 9 positions. Only 5 players have ever done it. The most recent was Andrew Romine for the Tigers in 2017. No Yankees ever done it. That's in a single game. And let's start 7 players aged 25 or younger in a game, including the pitcher. So the only time in the last 100 seasons that's done by the Yankees was October 1st, 1966. So let's do it. Let's get Burrito in there, Wells at catcher, Florial in center, Volpe at short, Peraza at third, Cabrera in right, and Pereira in left. And that would do it. All right. Have a good one,
Can
guys.
you run that lineup back again? Let's tell Boone to do that. And it was the last time in 100 seasons done by the Yankees in 1966.
2017. No Yankees ever done it. That's in a single game. And let's start 7 players aged 25 or younger in a game, including the pitcher. So the only time in the last 100 seasons that's done by the Yankees was October 1st, 1966. So let's do it. Let's get Burrito in there, Wells at catcher, Florial in center, Volpe at short, Peraza at third, Cabrera in right, and Pereira in left. And that would do it. All right. Have a good one, guys.
Wow. So Burrito on the bump, Wells catching, Volpe at short, Peraza at third, Cabrera in left, and Pereira.
Cabrera in right, Pereira in left, Florial in center.
Oh, wow.
Pretty close to what we're rolling out anyways, so just kind of need to start Burrito.
And Gleyber at
starts,
second.
Pereira not be hurt.
There's one position
that
open.
lineup would have Gleyber at second.
And
yes.
DJ at first.
Yes.
Wow. How old is Rortvet?
It's 26.
I think he just turned 26, yeah.
Okay.
Happy belated, Ben.
Okay. Anything that you really like there, Jake?
Something to look forward there with the young
Gleyber's
lineup.
only 25, and the no, he's number 25. He's 26.
He's 26 now. Thank you, Katie, for trying to put
Ben Rortvet's 26th birthday was yesterday.
Oh, I missed it. Shit.
I did not.
Wait, Florial's 25 and a half. It was 24 and younger, right?
I think it's 25 and younger. Thank you, Katie. What else did we have to unpack there? IKF every position can't do that.
Why? I think they should do that.
In one game or...
No, not in one game.
Yeah. They were.
Not in one game.
Twitter's hot on doing an IKF day.
No.
Which I'm out on. I'd knock it all off for the season. Sure, I'm fine with that. That's fun, but...
He needs just to play catcher, right?
And first.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Last day of the season, put him 1 inning of each. Don't do one game he plays all 9 positions.
Then we'll get that video forever.
Kind of out on both.
I'm fine with being out on both. I'd rather do neither than even sniff the fucking ultimate Will Ferrell joke of a team doing that.
I guess what really grinds my gear about it is there have been a couple games over the past 2 seasons where there actually was a throw IKF at catcher for an inning moment. And if you ignored it the whole time, then don't do it as a goof or a gaff or look at this. I'm out. You guys kind of had every opportunity. You pretended he was the starting shortstop for 1 year. And then this year, I mean, he booped around and played a lot of positions, but don't do that.
If IKF wants to get an inning at each just so he can put his name in record book.
He doesn't.
Yeah, then I'm fine with it.
We know IKF well enough at this point. Imagine if the media asked IKF that.
Yeah, he'd say no.
Yeah.
He was asking.
And good for him.
Yeah, he was asking. He would.
Because if you also asked IKF, would you have been willing to hop in at catcher in the 13th inning of XYZ game? He'd say, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually want to help the team win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Call me an outlier. I will do whatever it takes to help the team win. They've lauded him for having that personality trait. Whoa, IKF's a pretty special guy. He'll do anything to win.
Should be the norm and come with the abilities.
Standard.
Yeah. I at no point thought he wasn't trying his best.
I mean, last year he said he asked them to help on defense, and they said, "Nah, you're good. Don't worry."
What else did we have there? Kids lineup, IKF.
They're gonna have the worst division record ever,
Unless they sweep,
which isn't happening.
Jays are playing for something.
So
I
they're gonna have the worst in division record ever.
I did have some thoughts on that because going back to the previous 19, you played each team in the division 19 times, right? That's what it was in previous years, or was it 17?
18 or 19, yeah.
Okay. Remember there was a time when we were trying to be delusional about why the Yankees roster looks like it was, and we were kind of convincing ourselves that the Yankees were building their roster to beat the Red Sox. Like, the Red Sox had a bunch of lefty pitchers, so the Yankees had a bunch of righties, and it was kind of the Yankees had these guys built to go opposite field at the stadium, and it felt like the Yankees front office said, like, ooh, we're going to be competing with Boston. Like, let's build our roster to go attack them. And now it's funny seeing them both at the bottom of the division. Red Sox have moved on from their front office regime. I don't know. Have the worst record against your division. Anything at this point that can help drive home a point from the auditors or Hal or ourselves, let's get that. Like, your worst in-division record, the teams you knew you were going to play the most, and
we know they've prioritized before.
You had your worst record all time against them. Like, let that sink in, and let's learn how to grow from it because it's horrible.
Make moves.
Got to. And
should I tell people my parameters that I've decided in my head that I have the right to change my mind before we talk to Boone?
You had the right to reevaluate at some point. Got a long time to reevaluate.
They need to bring in a third baseman, a left fielder, and a center fielder. If those three guys aren't lefties or switch hitters, if anyone that they bring in to man those positions is a righty only, then one of Stanton, DJ, or Gleyber needs to be moved in a trade that also brings back an asset besides Stanton. That brings back a lefty. Yeah. Cannot have DJ, Gleyber, and Stanton all in the lineup if you're adding more righties down the line. And Volpe's going to be in the lineup.
right.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to go 3 for 3 bringing in third baseman. I actually don't even think they're going to bring in a new third baseman, left fielder, and center fielder.
Yes, I think infield gets really tricky with lefties. Like, that's not, most infielders are righty-righty. And there's the Peraza part of this equation that we still don't have figured out. I'm a big Ryan McMahon guy from Colorado. If you can find a way to bring that guy in the building, he plays Gold Glove defense at third, and he's a lefty at the stadium. Like, something like that feels like such a, like, whatever the Rockies ask for prospect-wise, what would turn your head and make you say no? The other thing with that, so the infield would be the only thing that I turn my head and I'm like, I can't get myself jazzy on that. Outfield, they have no excuse. Like,
But that's my point, though. Like, it's impossible. It's not likely to bring in 3 that are lefty, so you have to move on. You have to move on from someone anyway. Like, you have to.
Yeah.
You can't roll back. You cannot roll back. Judge, obviously you roll back Judge, but then supporting cast, you cannot roll back Rizzo, DJ, Stanton, Gleyber, Volpe. You cannot roll back those same 5 guys. Otherwise, you haven't made any changes.
yeah, I guess the only counter to that would be the truest outlier there is easily Stanton. Like, DJ's shown us a little hope recently. Rizzo, you can point to the injury. Gleyber has been very good this year, and Volpe's supposed to be hopeful for upcoming seasons.
I hope they don't think that. You cannot run it back. Otherwise, you made no changes. That's 5 of your 9, and Judge is the 6. So that's 6 of your 9, the same.
Right.
Well,
it would depend how
the catcher department's going to be the same
more.
too.
it would depend how impactful the other 3 moves are. Like, if it was Belly,
catcher position will at least be more left-handed. I'm not saying same thing we were saying yesterday. You can't rely on Wells to impact.
If the 2 outfielders were Belly and Kiermaier, with Dominguez coming back in midseason. I can talk myself into that.
Yeah, I mean, Kiermaier's not much offensive help, but he's nice in center.
No, but for half a year, ideally for Dominguez to come back, and he's put good months together. Like, I know his April was big. He's had big second halves before. Like, if you time it right with Kiermaier, and the worst case, which, again, kind of talking about those Yankees living in silos and living in Charlotte or whatever, like, Kiermaier, at least he's going to play class defense and be lefty. Like... Those are two such big boxes for the Yanks.
Yeah, it's still a little scary.
It can't be the one move.
Yeah, because
they have a lot to do.
They have a lot to do. They need to change, too. They need to change people out. All right, let's talk to Boone about that. He's not going to talk about that at all. We'll ask him some other questions.
Open your heart, Boone.
Kiermaier's sprint speed still rates out very well.
Hardo, why don't you guys go get some Scots? Something I've been driving home. Scots. This is the Scots. This is the one, the green logo. You've seen it in hardware stores. You've seen it in, wherever you get like supplies, grocery stores, Scots. They're the number one in lawn stream, and they're having fun. They're number one in lawn care. They're having fun with lawn streams. Jimmy, you called a wiffle ball game.
I did. Let it whiff and let whiff versus whiffs of glory.
That they were showing on the Scots YouTube channel. They're showing some goat yoga. Anything that can have grass in it, Scots is involved. And guess what? There's a lot of stuff that can have grass in it. Yankees play on grass. Do you know that?
Blue crab.
Right now, get 20% off on 2 or more Scott's products at scotts.com when you use code Jomboy.
Kentucky bluegrass.
If you've ever stepped on grass, I would go to their website. I'd follow Scott's on Instagram. Good content. You know I'm a content guy. 20% off 2 or more Scott's products at scotts.com when you use code Jomboy.
Kentucky bluegrass also at Fenway. All right, Booney joining us from Toronto. Boone, I believe this is our second to last chat. Next week's our last, so we'll have a lot to talk about after the road trip. How's it feel to say goodbye to the stadium for the season?
Man, it was what an odd weekend with weather. It kind of reminded me of it made me harken back to 1999. We had probably an 8-hour rain delay in Milwaukee in County Stadium. We had to win to force the 1-game playoff with the Mets. That's when I was with the Reds. And I remember just football being on. I think we started the game at like 7, 8 o'clock, and it was playing in just crappy conditions because we had to. And that's kind of how this weekend was. But it was good to really play well yesterday. And obviously, collectively, the young guys really came through big for us, and a fun way to finish things off and head out onto the road. And yeah, it was a good finish.
Were any of the like younger Latin guys giving you the look like we're really playing in this? Because I remember it was a thing a couple years ago about wanting to get them reps in Hudson Valley just so they could play in cold weather. Like, were any of the guys looking around like, wait, they're not calling this?
Heck no, let's go. We're playing, let's go get it. And I think DJ and Judgy set a good tone right from the start with 2 good at bats to start out the game. Shoot, we had their pitcher on the ropes there in the first inning. He's at 35 pitches with 1 out, and Wells is putting a good bat together and smokes the ball for the double play. And you're like, man, that's like one of those plays in the game that could potentially swing it like one way or the other. Like, he hits that ball through the hole, he might be out of that game in the first inning. Instead, he settles in, and we got a ball game. So, no, guys came to play, and that was nice.
Nice.
It's a 40-minute first inning. We were watching it like, wow, okay. So we got no fans, bad weather, and now we got a 40-minute first inning, which resulted in no runs for the Yankees. Like, this is tough
actually,
times.
the weather was a little better than the day before. The day before was worse, especially late in that game, because it was raining a little harder. The wind was huge. I mean, the wind was, I think about a couple home runs that got taken away. That Saturday, we played Sunday. Gleyber hit that ball to left right away. That's a homer 80 other days of the year at home. And then Judge hits the ball to right center. And then somehow Oswald, absolutely scalds one right through it all into the bleachers and left center. So just a weird wind day. You saw the Judge double the day before that kind of McCarthy was trying to chase down. A couple drop balls in the outfield. Just a weird couple days of baseball. But yesterday, especially with the conditions, I thought everyone played really well on both sides of the ball.
You remember the starting pitchers for that 1999 game?
Pete Harnish for us.
Yes, correct.
Which sucked because it would have been nice to have him pitching in the playoff game. So for them, Carl Eldred.
Cal.
That's what I said, Cal.
Yeah, Cal Eldred. Yes.
I was right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Wow.
Ron Vallone came in after Pete. And then Woodward, Pulsifer, and Valerio de los Santos for them.
Bill Pulsifer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, how about that? Casey went 2 for 5. You went 1 for 4. Vaughn had a big home run. So did Michael Tucker right in front of you.
Yeah.
Good game.
Yeah. Good one.
Booney, do you feel like now that it's officially Yanks are knocked out of the playoffs, do you feel like the Sharks are out a little more? Like there's been a couple articles the past couple days. You got people at the presser asking about your job yesterday. I guess technically we're like part of the Sharks. Maybe we're like the little fish that lives on the Shark's belly. But like, are you feeling it now more that it's officially eliminated and done?
I don't know. I guess you got the questions at the presser yesterday. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to it. So, I'm a little bit naive to it other than what I deal with head on with you knuckleheads and at the press conference every day. So, I don't know. I guess that's possible.
Nice. Well, to bring one to your attention in my knucklehead way, just kind of one serious convo, I guess, or something that's irking me that I want to hear your thoughts on is we had 2 more players come out, rookie players, both Oswald and Oswaldo, come out and kind of say, because Cabrera starts hitting a little bit, that he went back to his old approach. He went back and watched film from when he was in last year and saw that his swing had changed a lot. And he said there was too many voices in his head telling him to do different things. And the coaches were trying to get him to do this and that. He's selling out for power, basically, a lot of his swing instead of, it wasn't his swing. You had Peraza say that the coaches wanted him to not do his big leg kick anymore. And then after the Detroit series, he said, that's how I swing. That's like what my swing is. I want to stop being bad, and just did his leg kick. And now he's been hitting better spells but hot right now. Volpe's touted as this all fields hitter, and we've seen him just kind of swinging for power nonstop, and the 20 home runs are nice, but really feels like he should be a line drive hitter. Well, what do you make of like the guys feeling comfortable enough to say this at the end now that like, well, the coaches were telling me one thing and I just had to stop listening to them and now I feel better. Isn't that a bad like sentiment?
Yeah, it's a simple pull from that. That's a simplified, another little passive aggressive play by you.
No, I don't think I was that passive. Like I told you, this irks me.
Yeah, but it's black. You're saying it like it's black and white. I had to just stop listening to the coaches and da 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 da. It's like, no, that's what being a player and a young player is like, you got to weed out what works for you. You got to be able to, like, there's no problems with Oswaldo, and I think Sean and the guys have done a great job of working with him and getting him into a good place, and it's really exciting where he's at. I don't think what you're saying is him saying, enough of them, let me fix it myself, is kind of how you're playing it here. And the reality is Oswaldo, as I've maintained, even through the struggles, we feel like has a chance to be a really good player in the league. And I'm confident he's going to have a really long career. When you look at his defensive versatility and what I think he can be as a hitter still, and what's been one of the things that's been exciting about this last month of the season is, Oswaldo kind of getting it going a little bit, like I know he's capable of. And along the way, all of us, raising my hand, you go through this in the going back in time. That's what becoming a big leaguer is. That's what becoming a regular is. That's what becomes an established big leaguer is. Taking voices in, taking nuggets, being able to filter good thoughts, bad thoughts, and how do you shape it and mold it into helping you become the best player you can possibly be. Like, that's not new.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm glad that we're talking, because that makes a lot of sense. So as the coach's job is to offer multiple different kind of like thought processes and options. Hey, this works for this guy, this works for that guy, and ultimately the player has to.
And then ultimately, though, you do have people that you come across within your career that end up being super impactful, that are like, man, this guy really helped me get to another level, or this guy is
okay.
So that's what you're constantly working to. The reality is where Oswaldo is right now is I feel like he's in a really good spot. He's consistently hitting the fastball again, which is something that's given him problems throughout the year. So I'm excited about his finish and his perseverance, because he's such a great dude and such a good competitor and pro, and just a worker. So I'm super excited that as a young player, he's gone through some struggles, right? Some ups and downs, and he's kind of seeing his way out of it through his work ethic and through his makeup and through his physical ability. And that's been encouraging. As far as Peraza, similar, like you're constantly trying to find what unlocks you and what allows you to be the best you can be. So, yeah, I mean, that's part of.
No, that makes sense. It's a different way to look at it and I think a lot of fans hear kind of guys talk that way and don't realize that's part of process. So that's part of becoming a big leaguer. And I remember the Judge story when he changed his swing in 2017, and it was this big article about how the coaches didn't like what he was doing. You weren't there with the team then, and he had to tell them, this is what I'm doing, stop. And I guess now that's him kind of maturing or having the confidence to say, this is what I want to do and this is what I don't want to do. And that's where the young kids, that's the natural growing pain, is what you're saying, of rookies coming up and
it
filtering.
Absolutely can be. Yes.
Okay.
Everyone's different. Everyone's journey's different, and but I think part of being a professional ball player is as you go through the ranks in the minor leagues, and if you're one of the small percentage that makes it to the big leagues, and then one of the even smaller percent that has a long big league career, like, you've got to learn how to take in the right advice. This works for me. This doesn't work for me. And then, you have those people that are also super impactful that, help you, go to another level or really lock you in. But you got to have that discernment, and that discernment plays a big role in becoming a big league player.
We talked through that.
I think our hitting group right now is in a very good place with our hitters and what they're doing and the work they're putting in.
There we go. See, we can do this together. One of the other guys, and it got mentioned there a little bit. Volpe's having a tough September. I think 138 batting average. We've obviously some of the most pressure we've seen on a kid coming into a Yankee season. All the eyes on him throughout from spring training till now. For this September, I guess, are you seeing anything differently? Is it just baseball and a bad 20 games can happen?
Yeah, I mean, I think physically he's held up very well, so I want to start with that. But also, this is the first time, let alone playing at the big league level, playing for the Yankees in the American League East. Like, this is his first go around at 162. It's first of playing that final month where, and he's pretty much played every single day. So he's held up very well, but I think there is some inevitable fatigue that goes along with that. He's on balance had a very strong season, 22-year-old that, is pretty much barely played AAA going into this year, comes in with all eyeballs on him and has handled everything so well. And he's got adjustments to make that I'm confident that he'll be able to make moving forward. That'll allow him to continue to become a better and better player. But I think on balance, especially when you consider how special he's been on defense at a premium position, you'd have to say a pretty strong debut. And now the work doesn't end. We're just getting started, and that's one of the great things about Anthony is he loves this game. He loves everything about it. He loves the work that goes into it, and I'm really confident that he'll continue to make adjustments that will continue to allow him to become a better and better hitter.
See, Gleyber Torres really mature over the years, and he got profiled as a guy that as a rookie that could come up, go to all fields. Reactionary hitting, react to the pitch, go with the pitch. And then he comes up and the balls might be a little juiced and he pops 30 home runs or 38 or whatever the hell it was. And he got a little homer happy. He still got really good results. But we're seeing Gleyber this year really go with the ball and the field and situation they hit. Like, it was a couple weeks ago, there was runners on second and third, and he brought out his 2-strike approach on the first pitch of the at-bat and just kind of blocked one to right field, 2 RBIs. I've been very impressed with his approach at the plate. Almost looks more like Rizzo than Judge in a way, which it didn't in the past, if that makes sense. And that's something with batting average becoming more of a big factor this year with the shift and all that. And I think the top 15 teams in batting average are the playoff teams. Is that something that, Volpe, it seems like his skill set can really adapt where you would say, hey, let's talk to Gleyber a little, like he went through this kind of changes and using the whole field and all that?
Yeah, I mean, look, they're very different players and different hitters. The one thing that's been really exciting about Gleyber this year is his maturity as a hitter. Like, you're looking at now a guy that start with very talented. Like, Gleyber's got all kinds of power. Like, he and power the other way, but has great back to ball skills as well. Always has. And I think what you're seeing is the maturation process of now a very experienced big league player that's been through, big successes at the big league level, but has also had his, moments or months where he's really struggled. And through all that, now you're looking at a 5th-year player or whatever that even though he's still a young man, he's got a lot of experience. And I think he's also matured. I think he's just matured as well. And, routine of getting ready. I think he's done a great job of not giving away any at-bats this year, not giving away pitches. And what we've seen is a consistent player all year long. In 2022, last year, there were some similarities between the 2 years. Last year, he had a couple of valleys that were pretty long. I think it was August where he really, really struggled. he hasn't really gone through a stretch where he struggled. Maybe some stretches where he's had a couple weeks where he hasn't got results, but I think you watch game in and game out, as you guys do, the consistency of his at bats this year has been really, really impressive. And I think it's the result of a more mature and polished major league hitter that's really talented.
Yeah, his two-strike approach has been pretty evident, especially breaking balls with two strikes. He's going to put the ball in play, and it leads to kind of dink hits, but it's dropped from 15%, I think it was 18% last year, to 10% put away. So, with two strikes, he really locks in, and it's been really fun to watch him hit all year.
It really has. He has a really good understanding of what pitchers and opposing teams are doing to him now, and to see his strikeout rate go down, walk rate go up, and like you said, those two strike situation, especially if he's in a matchup where hey, this is a tough one. I gotta less is more here, and I think that's one thing that hopefully we'll get some more guys understanding that in certain situations, certain tough pitcher matchups, less is more sometimes. And I think Gleyber's done a really good job with that.
I have a question, or maybe this isn't a question, maybe it's a proposal, and I want to intro this by saying I am a fan of a disgruntled fan of a last place team, and this is something that's been that I'm proposing to you. You are.
Who are you a fan of? You're not a Red Sox fan.
Oh, I haven't checked the standings in a little bit.
Couple games up on them, Jim.
Okay, not a Red Sox fan. Second last. Yeah.
Just disgruntled.
Just disgruntled. I propose that you continue to back your players on balls and strikes and missed calls as much as you do. Maybe get the ejections down, because I know your daughter doesn't enjoy them, but I enjoy them, and continue that. But I think next year you should tell the players
Dollar jar.
Just me, because there's too many Yankees this year striking out, looking on pitches in the zone, and then almost looking at the ump and complaining, and it's starting to bother me a ton. And I'd propose next year, it's like, I'll do this. You guys just do what Judge does. He's the captain. Follow him. He just walks away. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. I get upset when they act like it's a ball, and then I find out it's a strike. That bothers me too. So
okay,
I check them there.
Okay, great.
Good.
Yeah, it's been bothering me a lot. It's been happening a lot lately. And I'm like, come on, guys. That was a strike.
Lately, I haven't got kicked out that much lately. Once.
Yeah.
You did good. You were hot the other day for a minute. What was that? Miguel Castro's disengagements? You were in it.
Yeah. So they had to go get a pitch comp from the bench, which should have cost them at least another disengagement. And they're like, no, he had it on him, which he did not have it on him.
You like pitch comp?
That happened to us a month or two ago. Literally, in the course of a week, and Vic Carapazza was one of the umpires for this, so he knew what I was talking about. So we had the same thing happen, cost us a disengagement or a mound visit or whatever, and then literally like 2 days later, the same thing happened to the other team, and they're like, it's okay. And I'm like, no, you're wrong. So then we have this come up yesterday, and I'm telling them, I'm gonna get a call from the office tomorrow. You guys are, and be like, yeah, we messed that one up. I'm just telling you that right now.
Did you get the call?
I've not got the call, but they know.
Right after this.
Well, you didn't get ejected. That's a telltale sign that they knew you were right.
Well, they're like, no, he had one on him. It wasn't working, which I went back and I was like, okay, then I take it back, but he did not have it on.
I think my friend across the screen was about to allude to this in a different way, but I want to ask it. Jimmy misses seeing the catchers flashing the fingers. I mean, it's another way to watch the game, right? Like, you can kind of stay in it, and you might know what's coming. And from the fan perspective, it kind of adds another level. I want to tie that to Clay Holmes came out and he banged like 5 straight sliders to start that save. I see you recognize that. Is that Clay? Is that Wells? Is that Blake? Like, let us in a little bit on that.
That's a little of everything there. That's one of those we were on the bench thinking, their hitters are going back to the dugout, probably going, "You said he's 70% sinker," but Clay has that ability, so and you gotta, outing to outing, you can't always, be a one trick pony. And I think Clay's done a better job all season long with really establishing that the slider, and yesterday was a really good one. But essentially I think it was a little bit of harking him in the bullpen, and then on into, Austin putting it down and running with some things, and then, allows the sinker to play a little bit better. You saw Walker after he got, slider fammed for the strikeouts. Then he starts Christian Walker off with one, and he kind of gets Christian Walker swinging at an up and in sinker, like probably thinking, just throw him off a little bit. And that led to an 0-2 count against Walker. So just a good job by Holmes coming in and really, really executing and showing he can do it, a couple different ways, not just sinker you to death.
Does Clay throw 2 sliders? Because Baseball Savant has a sweeper and a slider.
Yeah.
And it's not just that he throwing 2 different styles.
Yeah, he does have 2 different ones.
Okay. Yeah, he threw 71%, sweeper, and then 14% slider. So 85% to righties, because then the lefty comes up and he goes back to the sinker in that at bat. But yeah. I'm over pitch com. I want to see. That's my favorite part of being a fan is when there's no one on base, that I can be part of that conversation that's happening between the fingers and the shaking. And with the
that ship has sailed, buddy. So you
think so? It's causing so many problems. And with the 15 seconds now, just go back.
What problems does it create?
You getting mad at Vic twice.
It's entertaining.
I mean, you guys had to go to the bullpen so many times that, you ran out of one game.
So many problems.
Yeah, that's 2. I just named 3.
It's just been a massive issue all year.
I like seeing the catcher give the signs and the pitcher shake, and I say, "Oh, he doesn't want to throw the fastball."
You like it, but you're gonna have to get past that.
Now I just see Cole shaking his head at Rortvet like crazy the whole time. Yeah. I'm like, "What's he calling? What do you not want to throw, Cole?" That's what I want to know. Have like NASCAR does. They should have it at TV. We can listen in. I guess then there's cheating.
Yeah.
I think pitch count's been pretty, guys.
We're kind of about it, but he's a catcher, man. He likes seeing them signs.
Yeah, I just want to see the signs. That's all.
Yeah, so does the other team.
Yeah. They could hack a Bluetooth quicker than they could hack a set of signals.
Your thoughts?
Well, I know you would know something about that for sure.
Yeah, they can do it. Watch out. Be careful.
I think
I think we're safe so far.
We had KT Sharp, who does Sharp Stats for us. She's awesome. She was, for this final week, a couple things for us to look out for. She threw out the idea, there's a lot of kids on the team. I think only once in the past 100 Yankee seasons have there been 7 starting Yankees, 25 and under. And I think if you started a Brito Vasquez day, you can get there with Wells, Volpe, Peraza, Cabrera, Florial, Pereira. So,
any interest in that, I guess?
History.
Okay. Noted.
Okay.
It would be the first time since Mike Keegan, Horace Clark, Bobby Mercer, Joe Pepitone, Steve Whitaker, Billy Bryan, John Miller, Mike Ferreira, and Fritz Peterson on the mound.
What was that, late 60s, early 70s?
66. Dooley Womack came in relief. That's a fun name.
Oh.
Dooley Womack. His name was Horace. His name was Horace Guy Womack. And IKF all 9 positions. He could become one of the 5th or 6th players ever in history to play all 9 positions in a single season. I think it's a little too hokey for me. I decided I was initially in on it, and then I decided if it's too forced.
So far. First and catcher. But I think if you do it if he wants it and doesn't feel like it's weird pity, he just wants his name part of that list, I think you should do it. Thoughts? I don't hate that.
Okay. But you can't do it in one game like the Tigers did with Romine, where he plays all 9 in one game. I don't like that at all. But if he gets an inning at first, and what if you have to bring in a position player to pitch, then you can bring IKF in to catch. That's fun.
Ugh, let's hope not. I don't want to have that happen.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Booney. Enjoyed Toronto.
All right, guys.
There you have it, Jake. That was Bantering with Boone, penultimate episode.
Hey, can I say something?
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it as well.
There's a couple of the past couple weeks we've come in and been like, God, what do you even do? This one felt like the guard was down. It felt like we could press a little more, and it felt like he could answer a little more, and there were some moments of levity. So that's kind of the goal.
No, I like the conversation about that's what rookie players are supposed to do, and then that makes a lot of sense. Coaches aren't going to just give you the advice and it magically works. They're going to give you a lot of different routes that you can take, and then you have to decide what's the best for you. And as a rookie player, sometimes you think, I have to listen to my coaches. I have to do what they're saying, or like, let me try everything. And that can get you in bad places. That makes a lot of sense the way he pointed it out. So I accept that, and I won't read into those quotes poorly anymore.
Okay.
I'll allow him. But I think
They're
he's
not
also
black and
telling
white.
his players a little bit like, shut up, guys. This is normal. Like, don't out your coaches.
Yeah.
Because Cabrera's were not good quotes to be publicly saying.
The way it seems like that was phrased was not had little nuance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going back to the reporters and stuff with, this is as much blood has been in the water, for a Yankees team in a long time that, Oswaldo maybe answering a question honestly could be taken a little harder right now. And I don't know. Part of me is glad. Like, I think you could see it in Oswaldo. Like, he was just rolling over every ball to second base to start this young year. It became a joke. Like, when was it? I think IKF a little bit last year, and I think when DJ was hurt and he had a horrible case of the rollovers, like, it almost became a gag.
His whole 2021 season.
Yeah, it almost became like, I bet I could tell you what happens here. And then, I think we've seen from Oswaldo lately, he's been taking some balls the other way, and also if he gets an inside fastball, being fast enough to get his hands in. But yeah, at the end of this year, it's going to be one of those things that's tough to put it all together, because as much as, and Boone said it, and we've seen it, like, Oswaldo is a special dude. Like, as a 24-year-old kid that came into our office, like, with as much respect, but also, like, being a silly young guy, he gave me Mayor vibes. Like, that guy could walk into any room, shake the hands, kiss babies. It's tough to separate the personality from, okay, like, the performance hitting-wise just wasn't acceptable this year. That, when we've talked about whether it's penciling him in for something next year, is it the last guy on the bench? Is it the first guy that gets called up from AAA? Either of those roles on previous Yankees teams get used a lot. That, if Oswaldo were to hit like that again next year, the egg ends up being on your face. So I don't know. Hopefully you can look back and say it's a learning year, but we're hoping to say that for about 90% of the Yankee season.
Yes. Yeah, I'm getting nervous with how many times. Well, he's gonna improve. It's like, well, no,
Not everybody
improves.
That's the game.
And what was his answer majority on Volpe and the struggles on the stretch? Balance?
He was kind of alluding to, while, making sure he said all the right things, that, not saying Volpe's worn out, but a full MLB season is something that these guys never have done before.
Can't do it till you do it.
He did say, which I don't think I'm taking this out of context, that, like, fatigue is a factor for Volpe.
Yeah.
Which I don't know.
What is pain?
Yeah. And then it's like, well, why'd you guys play him every day? What was that about?
That's a move for next year.
It's a move for this year.
Tell me.
DraftKings. Because the MLB playoffs are coming up for other teams. In DraftKings Sportsbook, you won't miss a moment of the baseball action. We're going to be live streaming all playoffs long. We have some fun with our DraftKings bet. We kind of bet as a team. We win as a team. There's a couple times we've lost as a team, but we persevere. And if you download the DraftKings app and you bet just $5 on baseball, you'll get $200 instantly in bonus bets. So what are you waiting for? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code YANKS. New customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on baseball only on the DraftKings Sportsbook with code YANKS. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles, 21 plus, ages vary by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. See dkng.co/baseball for eligibility terms and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply.
Great job.
Can I tell you, it was hard for me to not let it out in the Boone interview today. I had a shower thought while I wasn't in the shower.
Nice.
Woke up, wanted to get a little workout in, but I wasn't ready to get in that mood, so I went to the couch, pet noodle for a second, and I had the name Vic Carapazzo in my head.
Oh, really?
And I was like, how weird is that?
Maybe because you saw him yesterday?
Yeah. And then Booney brought him up today, and I was like,
Doing him dirty.
Vic Carapazzo. Yeah, a little bit.
Vic.
Waiting for the call.
Well, Vic knew it was wrong, but he got to stick up for his other umps.
What is that call like? Hey, Booney.
Hey, Aaron. Schgumps here. Yeah. We
had it wrong.
We did have that.
Yeah, right.
Wrong. See you later.
Hey. We'll give you a call in the fourth inning today. Boom.
Boom. 2 balls. 1 strike. Tell you guys not to swing.
What else could happen?
It's an important pitch, a 2-1 pitch.
It is.
It is. Impressive that Boone knew both starting pitchers from that 1999 game.
Yeah. 8-hour rain delay.
5.5. A little dramatic, Booney.
Yeah.
I did the research. 5.5. He got a hit. But then, I think it was the guy behind him bunted and he got out at second, or he got to second. Sack bunt to get the guy from first to second. I understand why that got out of the game.
Analytics have that one right.
Second to third, I still think there's value there, especially no outs.
Yeah.
Bunting the guy to second because that's scoring position. I think maybe they got that one right.
They got a little too juicy with scoring position there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey. With all the articles and stuff coming up, there's also situations that are different. If you can get that guy over and you got a couple of your good hitters up, I'm open to it.
How about Boone saying that?
If it was Trevi in the 9-hole and DJ and Judge were coming up, sure.
Boone saying less is more, and sometimes situations need that. It's like, well, okay, according to all the reports, you guys don't teach that at all. You just think more is more. And
also, Gleyber, we've been saying that for 5 years.
Yeah.
The less is more. Keep it simple.
It was not. It was nice seeing him talk glowingly about Gleyber's offense because it really, has been really fun to watch. I agree, and he said there's no valleys this year, and it's true. Gleyber offensively has been, he's a good hitter.
A steady Eddie.
Even better than that.
Nice, dude.
The Yankees say they believe in the situations and stuff, and maybe they do, but it seems like their philosophy is, the players will just do that. And
yeah,
they'll know.
They'll know to just, it's well,
eventually Gleyber knew.
And
you're
push him into that path.
One.
I think my 2 final things. 1, we're going to be at Billy's Sports Bar in the Bronx this Sunday. We're doing our Blitzball Blitz playoffs there. We've sold a bunch of tickets. Bring the whole family. We've got all our crews coming. Joe's McFly, we got Ice, Kenobi, O'Jolly, ourselves. We're playing the first game at 11:30 a.m. It's the first time we're doing an event like this. It's going to be a ton of fun. We're selling some tickets on our website. There might even be a link in the description. If you don't have plans this Sunday, come through. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Go Yanks.
Wait, I had a second thing.
Oh, yeah, your second thing.
Nicky Cass posted a picture. He visited some family in Italy.
Yeah.
And he is head and shoulders above everyone.
Whoa. Let me see that.
That's
Get it on the screen. It's an IG story, so it's going to try to run away on you. I mean, he looks like Christian McCaffrey.
Now,
At Nicky Cass's family.
now a lot of older women, but
Sure.
that guy,
Yeah.
he's five flat.
And Nicky Cass will be there too. His team love yous. They're the 1 seed.
I mean, that's a 5 flat guy. You know, my grandpa's 5'1". My mom gets so upset about it.
Yeah,
No, he
she
wasn't.
does.
Like, yes, he was. And then I have his military ID that says 5'1".
5'1".
And she's like, doesn't it count that? I'm like, what are you talking? Like, yeah, he was short, Mom. Yeah. What do you think?
Military
Like,
ID.
what height does she think he was?
because I'm short, she thinks he's like my height. I'm like, no, I'm 6 inches taller than him. He was really short, Ma.
Yeah.
She gets like upset. He's like 5'1", tiny, as you're seeing here.
Yeah.
Nicky Cass's guy.
Can't wait to message him about that.
All right.
I mean, Nicky's not tall. Nicky's your guy's height.
That's rude. Nicky's like 5'4". 5'5"
Is that
max.
much above him?
I think me and Nicky.
He probably.
No, you're
wears
taller
better
than Nicky.
shoes.
I would have.
I have you guys above him. But
I'd have to
like
check the
same-
shoes
you're in the same
collection on a given
neighborhood.
day.
Same neighborhood.
Go Yanks. Tell him, Grams.
Go Yankees.